make relates to the need for the banking sector in the Caribbean to be infused with a greater level of diversity and competition, and to ensure that those things that have constrained our economic growth be confronted directly. We have been less than dynamic in the banking sector to our citizens in this region. You go to the same banks in Canada and you open an account in 10 minutes. Because of the pressure put on Caribbean countries with the loss and threat of the loss of correspondent banking, it takes 2 to 3 months, even if you are an individual heading up organizations, and for which the risk is seemingly much less. This is unacceptable. Our people cannot be financial lepers. When I was 16 years old, I walked into Royal Bank of Canada and I opened an account. Nobody asked me anything about a utility bill. Nobody asked me a whole host of questions. And while I understand the need for due diligence, I do know that it can be done far better with competition, and that we can treat ourselves far better. And the third thing relates to investment opportunities. I said in Barbados 2 years ago, Prof, that this notion of tourism being divided between summer and winter is a curious designation for me, because I'm yet to see snowfall in the Caribbean. And if we are reclaiming our destiny and charting our future, then tourism must be an all-year-round pursuit. But if you are only focusing on North Atlantic countries, then you will hear about winter and summer, because the North Atlantic countries go to Europe and the Mediterranean in the summer. They stay within their own country in the summer. And yet, those of us who are here don't see snow. But the absence of that transport link has meant that we don't sufficiently develop the tourism markets for this region. It is an unbelievable state of affairs. I believe that while we seek to develop the transport links for consistent land-based tourism, that we have a unique opportunity knowing our people on both sides of the Atlantic. We like to eat well. We like our music. We like our art. We like to dance. We like to enjoy life. We like equally to sit back and reflect and gaff and talk with each other. There's an amazing opportunity in cruise tourism that remains untapped, not to be shaped and directed by others, but to be shaped and directed by ourselves. Africa and the Gulf states have the lowest penetration in global cruise tourism, 3% each. In our Caribbean region, we have cruise ships visiting virtually daily during the winter, and in the summer, it is as spotty as it can possibly be the furthest south you go in the Caribbean. I believe that the time has come for investors here in the Caribbean and Africa to work together, to be able to pursue initially the leasing of a cruise ship, the chartering of it, and focusing directly on the things that our people like to do. Because I really believe that it will become tremendously successful. But it should be done first and foremost by us, for us. And that may mean leasing initially until we have the capacity to own the vessels ourselves. I leave those three reflections with you. But I want to say that I do it in the spirit of Professor Benedict Orama. And why do I say so? We are here because, Prof, you had a vision that you would not let go of. And in 2021, in the midst of the pandemic, you saw the pictures yesterday. You wore a mask, I wore a mask. We were not shaking hands, we were bouncing elbows. The picture is there for history. And you came. I am not usually one to quote Latin, but if I did, I would say you came, you saw, and you conquered. The truth is that the records must reflect that visit, however, came after your intervention along with the others of the African Union in providing the African Medical Supplies platform to the region at a time when the region was not receiving assistance from almost anybody else.